Good morning, students. This is your second chapter from your biology portion in relation to the topic tissues. Now, in this particular video, we will actually study about a basic introduction towards tissues, how it is important in case of different types of organisms, a difference between plant and animal tissues, then how are the plant tissues actually being characterized, and finally a brief introduction towards meristematic tissues, their types and functions. Now, to begin with the particular term tissue, we know that multicellular organisms are made up of millions of cells, and each cell will actually show some kind of division of labor. Now, in each of these particular cases, the cell is going to perform a particular type of function in an efficient manner. Thus, the cells will be clustered together in groups that is called as tissues. Now, how can we define a tissue? A group of cells that are similar in structure and origin and which will perform similar function are known as tissues. Now, the branch of biology that deals with the study of tissues, that is called histology. Now, if you just can see in this particular picture, there are different type of cells. You know about red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets. Now, when they combine together, they will actually form a tissue, that is blood. Now, blood along with cardiac muscles and all, they will form an organ that is called as heart. Now, heart along with different types of blood vessels alongside the pumping organ as well as the fluid blood, that is going to form the organ system, that is the circulatory system. Now, question comes up, how are the tissues important for multicellular organisms? Now, we know that multicellular organisms have got millions of cells present within them. So, each group of the cell will perform a specific function in an efficient manner. So, that is going to reduce the workload of every cell, and that will show an efficient division of labor. Now, coming down to the topic, are plants and animals made up of the same type of tissues? Remember, the answer should be no. How? There is a small difference which we have given you relating to animal tissues and plant tissues. In case of animal tissues, the animals are mobile. That means they can move from one place to another. So they require more energy. And for that, most of the tissues in case of animals are living in nature. On the other hand, in case of plants, they remain fixed at their own place. They are stationary. So they do not require much energy. So most of the cells in case of plants are dead in nature. Now, animals move from one place to another in search of food, shelter, etc. Whereas in plants, most of the tissues which are dead, that is going to provide some support, mechanical strength, structural strength, etc. In case of animal tissues, the cell growth is uniformly distributed. That means growth will be seen in every particular region of the body in a proper manner. Whereas in case of plant tissues, growth is limited only up to a certain region. Animal tissues are much more complicated as compared to the plant tissues. So, as you can see from this particular column, due to the difference in the structure and functions of plants and animals, they are made up of different types of tissues. Now, as we come down to the topic about plant tissues, remember, plant tissues are initially divided based upon the capacity to divide. So based upon that, the tissues are divided into meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. Now these meristematic tissues, based upon their location, are divided into three parts: apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. Now the permanent tissues, based upon the structure and the nature of the cells present in them, are divided into two groups: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Now simple permanent tissues have been divided based upon their location into parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma, along with some protective tissues which are found within them. Whereas complex permanent tissues, based upon their function, that whatever type of function they do within the plants, they are divided into two types: xylem and phloem. Now we shall be discussing about each of these tissues in brief within the whole chapter. Now, as we come down to this particular portion of meristematic tissues that are otherwise called meristems, now they have the power to divide, to form new cells, because they continuously keep on dividing. Now they are responsible for increasing the length and girth of the plants. Girth means thickness. Now the new cells that are produced by the meristem are similar to them because most of them arise from the same type of cells. Now the cells which are found in the meristematic tissues, they are majorly active, highly living in nature. They have got dense cytoplasm. Cellulosic cell walls are very much thin. There is a prominent nucleus present within them, and they will lack a big sized vacuole. Now, why the vacuole is absent? Because they utilize most of the energy for the division process. They don't need to store it for the future. Alongside, the cell will require a dense cytoplasm and a soft cell wall for the cell division process. Now, based upon the location of the different types of meristematic tissues, there are three types of meristems: apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. Now remember, apical meristem are usually found in the growing tips of shoot and root, that is stem tip and root tip. Now what they will do? They will increase the length of the plant. They will make it grow in a longitudinal manner. Secondly, it's the intercalary meristem that is found at the base of the leaves or in nodes or internodes. Now they will be responsible for increasing the length of the leaves as well as nodes and internodes. Finally, the lateral meristem that is found in woody trees and plants, they are found on the sides of the trees. Now they will help in increasing the thickness, that is the diameter and the girth of the plant in a lateral manner. So in our next video, we shall be proceeding about the permanent tissues and their types alongside location and function. Thank you.